Hello there and good evening, and welcome to Future Music from the Robot Lab interview file 5. And tonight I'll be interviewing Eric C Powell along with his wife Andrea. Hey folks, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having us.
Hey, pleasure. You guys all right?
We are doing well, yes, absolutely.
Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so Eric and Andrea, tell us about yourselves.
Yeah, well, we'll take it kind of from a musical perspective. I started writing music when I was really young and kind of in my teens. We had an old piano that was really out of tune, and I used to plunk around on that. I had no formal music training. Eventually wrote a bunch of songs myself, and then in high school, that's where I met Andrea. We're sweethearts, of course.
Awesome.
I got this gig playing at a local Italian restaurant where I could just go in and use my synthesizer and just play. And I invited Andrea to come along and do some background vocals and that sort of thing. And that's how kind of we got started.
Yeah, sweet. Awesome. You were featured on BBC Introducing, and you won second place at the Best Electro Acts at Wigwam Awards, was it? Can you tell us how that went down?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'll start with Wigwam. Wigwam has these awards each year for the best artists in different categories, and at the time, one of the first biggest our most popular, well-received track we had was Click. It was a collaboration that I did with Darwin McD, who's also here in the States.
Cool.
He wrote the music, and he said, I need some feedback on this. And over a weekend, I wrote the vocal melody, kind of produced it together, and we released it basically in about 4 days. It was pretty crazy. But it's a great tune, and that got Wigwam's attention that year, and basically Darwin and I were nominated together, and we got second place. We were runners up, and we were pretty honored to receive that. Then on BBC Introducing, we went ahead and took Click, and we had a number of indie remixers and producers kind of do their take on Click using the same vocals and basic parts and tracks and that sort of thing. And Gary Watts of Nature of Wires submitted the remix, the Nature of Wires remix to BBC Introducing, because they really only cover UK artists, of course, right? They're looking to introduce and promote, yeah, UK artists. But so that was quite a stroke of luck for me to be able to get in there as an American artist, and
just like slid in there as an American artist.
I slid in there as an American artist. I even have my own profile on the BBC Music Introducing area, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not every American can do that.
You lucky bugger.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice one.
Now it sounds very subverted, doesn't it?
Andrea, you always provide your vocal talents on some songs. Do you also help with music and any other inputs? Or?
Yes, definitely. Even when we were younger, way younger, don't want to say how old we are, but
103.
No. In the 90s, we had a song that we wrote together that got worldwide acclaim for the Billboard.
Yeah, it was the Billboard
song contest.
Billboard songwriting contest.
Yes.
It had judges like, oh my gosh, Julio Iglesias and Andre Crouch and
Amy Grant
and stuff. Anyway, so we were in the top percentile of all global entries for this song called "Soul to Your Heart," which we recorded as part of Turning Keys, a previous electronic band that we were a part of.
Yeah.
But also, like even our newest song, "Need a Place," I wrote melody and lyrics, and we often collaborate together with music and always share each other's opinions on and insights to songs. So yeah,
Yeah, she helps me all along the way. She's always a good sounding board.
Yeah.
Even when I do remixes, I recently did one for Somber Moon, and we did one for Graflex and the band Uncreated. I think they're Swedish. Patrick, I think. Anyway, so I'm always like, does this sound good? Should I add this part? She goes, hey, why don't you do that? And I'm like, those are the best ideas. And so even with the new Mute CD, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, I mean, she's very instrumental in helping me get those instrumentals out. Knee slapper. All right.
She's got a good ear for it and everything then, yeah?
Absolutely.
That's good. You released an album last year which is called True, and also sometime later following a remix album to that, True Remixed. Could you tell us about those two albums?
Absolutely. True was a culmination of what? I had the opportunity, once we came out with Click, and my previous album was really a comeback to the music industry. And that was Back to Life. And so True was the second album coming back to that and having the opportunity to be involved in the scene a little bit and hear a lot of the great bands I mentioned, Darwin McD, I mentioned Nature of Wires, Fuse. There's so many, and I feel really honored to know these guys.
Yeah.
And to talk with them and to collaborate sometimes. But True was really started with a number of singles that released through 2018 that were popular. We had Need a Place, we had Crew, of course, the title track, Noise Zombie, a few of those. So there were about 4 or 5 tracks that were already released that were well played and well received. And then we added it's not just a compilation album, we added a number of new songs, and so had the benefit of really, because of that, every track was really well received.
Yeah, cool.
And played. So quite a blessing. And of course, the remix album is songs from True that were remixed by other artists. We did it with Click, and so I thought, hey, let me reach out, see if I can get some people to, if they like it enough, to go ahead and do it. Parallax jumped on board, Nature of Wires, Fused, People Theater, I'm forgetting big people, Arlox, Graflex. I hate to leave people out, but there's some really amazing things. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think it's amazing when you get other people to look at your songs and what they can come up with creatively, to do so different. And it's just amazing. Like even the Parallax one is like this Italio disco feel to Need a Place, which we hadn't thought of ourselves, and we thought, hey, this is really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta admit. I mean, I've listened to like certain remixes of certain songs, and they like put their own spin on it, and even add their own vocals on it. Like I recently listened to Rota Sand Almost Violent, remixed by Solitary Experiments, which had Dennis singing on it, and it was sounding absolutely fantastic. It's on the remix album Truth is Fanatic again. Mwah, absolutely amazing. I just love it. It's got a different amazing feel to it, and adding Dennis on vocals. Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. You've got a single out which is called No Time to Love, No Time to Die, which is inspired by the James Bond franchise. Was it a particular movie or as a whole thing?
Well, obviously it's got the name No Time to Die, and it really was originated from a contest. There was a contest about submitting really just James Bond themed songs.
Right.
And we weren't really planning on doing this. We had a pretty busy schedule. As you know, we were getting ready for Artefaktor Live and our trip over there, so I just kind of said, I'd like to do this, but I just can't. And as you know,
our time suddenly got freed up.
Yes. Yes, that time suddenly got freed up, and we thought, hey, let's go ahead and do this. And so we put it together pretty quickly, got it right in before the deadline, and it was really inspired by another track that when I heard it, I thought, oh wow, I've got to do this. I don't think I can do as well as what this other artist has done, but I certainly like to make a contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to talk
but
about it?
ours is a little different because we came at it as a duet,
Yeah.
which most James Bond themes aren't. And it's our particular storyline of our song is based on two spies that are in love with each other. But of course, it's a dangerous relationship because they're spies and they don't trust each other. And I have to tell Eric, even though we were kind of thinking of going with the No Time to Die movie sort of theme, I always think back to the Spy Who Loved Me movie, and that's what it reminded me of. And that was my favorite James Bond movie growing up, and I watched that like 100 times.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think mine's got to be Tomorrow Never Dies because it's got Michelle Yeoh in it.
Okay, yeah.
She's awesome.
We recently just watched through all the James Bond films in order of release, and it was interesting.
Wow.
It took us about a month or more, and we only had to pay for one of them. In other words, we have enough streaming, I guess, to cover the rest. But it was quite interesting because I've seen most of them, but to see them in order and to see some of the themes you don't usually catch, or the continuity you don't catch when you see them, 5 or 6 years apart. Even with the Daniel Craig movies, it really brought a greater appreciation. You got to see some of them that did not date well, and some that did, and some that you thought, well, that you kind of didn't give a lot of credit to. You come away going, hey, that was actually a pretty good film.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think, when we were younger, my brother was like heavily into James Bond, and they had like a marathon on ITV years ago, and he watched every single one of them throughout. If like from Dr. No to I think it was it Die Another Day? I think it was. They had like a massive marathon. Yeah, he watched the entire lot because he was heavily into it at the time, and yeah, yeah. And I think. We appreciated it when we were kids, but I think, from the old ones onwards, and I think, but it's hard to say who's your favourite James Bond or something, and so I think mine's probably Timothy Dalton or Pierce Brosnan, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, it's so weird. They all have different. I grew up with
Roger Moore.
We grew up with Roger Moore as Bond, so for us, a long time. He was Bond, but now rewatching them and knowing, I also had a preference for Sean Connery, but I don't know, they all have their own personalities, not only as actors but as how they play the characters, and I like each one. I also really like Daniel Craig. I kind of came away from watching the series going surprised that his portrayal is also one of my favorites.
I liked Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
it was good. I'm not so sure.
I think we all felt Pierce Brosnan should have been in there sooner, and would have been better represented if he could have.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've not watched any of the latest ones, but maybe I should sometime, like one with Daniel Craig on it or something. Yeah.
I think watch them together if you get a chance.
Okay.
Especially the Daniel Craig ones, because they're kind of
like a thread.
They're kind of like a reboot.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it reboot. They're kind of they start over. They're kind of like early, almost like prequels in a way.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool.
Too much talk about James Bond. Anyway, so there you go. It was a contest. So.
Sweet. You were meant to be playing at Artefaktor Live 4 this year, which sadly got cancelled due to COVID-19. Has it been postponed, and will you still be coming to Artefaktor Live 4 if it's rescheduled? Do you have that plan?
Here's what I can tell you. I mean, we were really excited to get out there. I mean, we've never been over to the UK or to Europe for that matter, so this was going to be a big thing for us, not just for playing music, but also just visiting. And we've really developed a lot of friendships overseas, especially in the UK
with DJs.
With DJs, especially, but also other artists that we talk about all the time. And as it got closer and closer to the date, we could see that it just wasn't going to be possible. I mean, entire countries are closing down, and it's a good thing not to go. That's not at all what I'm saying, right? But it was still a little disappointing. we've been able, for us and our plans, we've been able to go ahead and postpone that and be able to set those plans aside and and waiting for the time when we can actually join in again. We talked with the promoter, and plans are on for the next Artefaktor. I don't know if we'll be using 4, if we're going to move on to 5.
Yeah.
But we're not really sure when things are going to open up and when travel's going to happen. So we're hoping 2021.
Yeah.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
we've talked with the promoter. We're both on board with having us involved still.
Yeah.
And so as long as it works out, we are definitely going to be involved, and we're looking forward to that.
nice one. Yeah, hopefully next year it'll pan out and everything, so it'll all die out and whatever. Then yeah, it'd be fantastic. Like, because I can't wait things go back to normal and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, everything's bad here as well at the minute. I mean, they're having like a second lockdown, and my town is actually one of the towns that's getting a second lockdown.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, things will be back to normal soon. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have a little bit of a break, and I'm gonna play "No Time to Love, No Time to Die" and a song off the album True. So I'll see you guys in a bit.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you in a bit, guys.
You defy all my attempts to plan an amusing death for you.
Lines his eyes, torment in my life. All alone, I'm waiting for you. No time to love, and now there's no time to die.
Bond. James.
History reveals his will. Scenes were both licensed to kill. All alone, I'm waiting for you. No time to love, and now there's no time to die. No time to die. I knew it all the time, and I know it's just a game. And here we go again, and you come to me with those eyes. I see it all before, and I know you come to me with those eyes. And sunshine, I can feel it. Sunshine, I can tell. Sunshine, I can feel it. Seen it, and I know it too well. Another day gone by. I've known it all the time, and I know it's just a game. And here we go again, and she comes to me with those eyes. I've seen it all before, and I know she comes to me with those eyes. And sunshine, I can feel it. Sunshine, I can tell. Sunshine, I can feel it. Seen it, and I know it too well. Sunshine, I can feel it. Sunshine, I can tell. Sunshine, I can feel it. Seen it, and I know it too well. I've seen it, and I know it too well.
Hello there and welcome back to Future Music from the Robot Lab interview file 5. I've just played the songs No Time to Love, No Time to Die, and also from the album True, I played Sunshine. And joining me back now are Eric C Powell and Andrea Powell. Hey!
Hi.
Hey!
Put your hands up. No.
Hey, do the jazz hands! I got the jazz hands up there. I played Cheddar's I'm on My Way, which you did a collaboration with. How did that go?
Oh, absolutely great. How did we get in touch with Cheddar? I think he might have contacted us, but he sent over a couple tracks, and one I really heard that something could be added to that. He mostly does instrumentals, so
Yeah.
I think he was looking for some vocals and that sort of thing. So there was one that just really caught our ear, and I said, yeah, let us work on this, and I'll get back with you. So Andrea and I sat down, and you want to share a little bit about this?
Well, Eric kind of came up with a melody, but it was too high for him.
Yeah.
So I got to sing it. But we both worked on lyrics together and came up with a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
Cheddar had the title already, On My Way, right? So
Yeah, he did.
So
And we found that easier to fit into a song than Click. So funny enough, Click with Darwin McD, I never was able to integrate the word click in there. So it's
Into
just
the
called
lyrics,
Click.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm on My Way kind of made sense, and so Andrea, I think, wrote a bulk of the lyrics, and we helped put the melody together, and just with a few minor iterations. The interesting thing about the song is Cheddar and us kept trying to go back and forth and make improvements and change things. And the farther we went, the farther we felt it was away from the original song. And so at the end, we finally just went back to the very beginning, kind of mixed that together, and that's what we ended up with.
Ah, fantastic! Yeah, I played it. I played it on one of my shows, and yeah, I really liked it. So yeah, it was good.
And he is actually it's been kind of a snafu, I think, getting that out to distribution. It's while we released it to radio quite a while ago, and I think it's on Bandcamp. It is finally going to worldwide distro, which means Apple and Spotify and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This week he's got it submitted. So
cool. Is it going to be just digital only, or is he going to release it as a physical CD as well? Do you know?
I am not sure. Right now I know it's digital, but it all depends on I think I can talk more with him. We have a call scheduled later on this week, I'm hoping, and we've got a few things to talk over. That's one thing I'm going to bring up with him.
Cool. Awesome. You've also done a song with Lord and Master, which is a cover of One Night in Bangkok, and also features Andrea Arcane. How did that come about? And it's from a musical, isn't it? I've heard it somewhere before. Is it from a musical?
Yes, it is. It was a hit on the radio in the 80s by Murray Head, but it's from the musical Chess, which was written. I should have.
The two guys in ABBA.
By the two guys in ABBA. So. As well as I think there's another writer in there. Yeah, it's just a great song. And I hear, and I have not seen the musical myself, I hear all the music is just great on that. So Lord and Master was working on a number of tracks and collaborating with different artists, and also kind of really looking back to some of those 80s tunes. And he got in touch with me and said, hey, I'd like you to do this song. And I'm well familiar with One Night in Bangkok, and I listened to it again. I thought, there is no way I can do this song. Are you joking me? Especially the verses. That's just not my thing. Murray Head does such a great job at it. But I do know Andrea Arcane, and I know he's done some remixes for us, and I know that he has at least one song out. And he's working on another album,
nice.
And doing that spoken word rap thing that they call it. He does that pretty well, and I thought, he might really do a good job on that. So I reined him in, and he was able to also add some production glitches. He does a really good job at that. And then Andrea and I worked on the vocals, and I relied highly on you for the choruses. And when we got done with all the production, I got, wow, this sounds pretty good. At least the choruses, as far as I didn't want it to sound, half-hearted or when we do stuff, we wanted to have an impact, right? And not be just a sad cover of somebody's song. Just to have something. I wanted to have something more to say than the original song. Otherwise, why do it, right? So, so we all worked on it together. We worked with Lord and Master and Daniel, and I felt like it came out pretty good. Yeah. And he released it as an EP with February song by Neil Francis, and then his album is called Featuring, and it features a lot of different artists on different songs. One I remember, Don't You Want Me, Baby, but it's a different take, so definitely worth something checking out, and it was a blast to do.
Awesome. Have you got anything? Did you say you have any more upcoming with Lord and Master? Do you have anything in the pipeline, or?
Well, the only thing right now in the pipeline, I have a remix for one of the Mute tracks that's coming up, and a radio station is going to be playing that, and soon I'll be sending it out to a lot of folks. It's just an extended mix, adds a little bit more flavor to the song. Also, I've done a remix of a Somber Moon song, which will also be out there pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then, I think most artists will tell you there's kind of an ebb and flow of phases, right? I mean, there's the creative stage, which a lot of us relish. I mean, that's why we started writing music and singing, and it's just that a really enjoyable start where you're creative. You get to put songs together and write lyrics and that kind of stuff. There's the kind of more production stage. I enjoy arranging and putting stuff together, but then you've got to get the mix right. You've got to tweak it. You've got to do the mastering. That's part of the technical end. And then there's the promotion side. So we've been on the promotion side for a while, although we've gotten a lot of music out lately, kind of in between that. But I feel like we're ebbing into a creative time again. We have one song. We have one song which is really done but needs vocals that we've got to record, and then we really want to delve in and kind of explore some of the soundscapes that we've been trying to explore a little bit. Mute was something different because it was all instrumental, and we did the remixes, and we've done a couple collaborations. So we're not sure quite what's going to be on the horizon, and that's part of the creative process.
Sweet. Where are we? Are any of you two involved in any other projects and in production of anything? Do you have any other side projects or anything, or?
We've been involved in previous projects, mostly together. I mentioned Turning Keys, and that's something we did back in the late 80s and up to mid 90s. We did something in between. But as far as doing individual projects, we primarily try to work together. Even if we're going to be adding vocals like the Cheddar tune, Andrea will do vocals, but I'll be involved in the production and that sort of thing. So we don't really have any side projects. We're focused pretty much solely on what we're doing right now.
Awesome. And also, you've just released a new instrumental EP, which is called Mute, and it was inspired by the current COVID-19 situation. Could you tell us about that and how that idea came, and how come it was instrumental as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually been thinking about an instrumental album for a while, I think, on social media. Of course, I say a lot of things on social media, but I think it was almost 1 or 2 years ago, where I said, I'd really like to do an instrumental album and kind of reach out to that more synthwave audience. There's a certain segment of the synthwave audience that only likes instrumentals. They don't want any vocals, and that's fine. We're very much vocal people. As a lot of artists will tell you, when you write, you kind of create a lot of different things, projects that don't quite pan out, especially when I'm trying to write vocals. Sometimes the melodies and the music that you have is so good, you don't want to cover it up or take stuff out to add some lyrics. And so Mute was kind of born out of that and out of the COVID-19 experience that we all kind of went through. I know we probably have a little bit different experiences. Everybody has a little bit different experience, but I was able to kind of take some tracks that I've been mulling over for a while and really expand them. So it was from before, but it's also now. And so I felt like I found 7 good tracks that really express certain moods or feelings and emotions of what we're all going through, And I think Paul Brown of the Electricity Club said it well when he said there's a sense with the songs that it's a little bit up to the listener to impress upon their emotions into it. It's a little bit. It doesn't exactly tell you what to think. It lets you experience this whole lockdown from your experience.
Yeah.
So it leaves it a little bit open, and that was intentional. And I think we came up with a good 7 tracks, almost like a classical piece where you have 7 movements, but they all stand well on their own. And that's kind of how that came about. And
kind of like excuse me, what kind of the kind of thing that everybody can relate to. So you kind of try to consider everyone's feelings and stuff like that kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it is definitely relatable, for many people, isn't it? So.
And it's done surprisingly well. Been surprisingly well received. I kind of thought it might just fly under the radar, and I knew some folks would like it, but we've had quite a bit of orders for it. People have really enjoyed it. Again, I think it really did tap into a wider audience than where I've been, and I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying talking with people and hearing how they feel about it.
That's good. Cool. Okay. Right, Eric, Andrea, thank you for the interview. What I'll do now is I'll play songs from Mute and also One Night in Bangkok as well, and then I'll end it from there. And thank you, Eric. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea, for joining me.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Yes, bye.
You're very welcome. Take care now.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You have been listening to Future Music from the Robot Lab Interview File 5 with Eric C Powell and Andrea Powell. I've been your host, Exo Skull. Ending for this interview, I'll be playing Be With You from the album True, the Parallax radio remix of the song Need a Place, and then from the instrumental album Mute, I'll be playing the song Shelter, and then ending the interview, I'll be playing the cover of One Night in Bangkok by Lord and Master, featuring Eric C Powell and Andrea Powell, and also Andric Arcane. If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming show or arrange an interview, please email me along with sound files to exoskullfmrl@gmail.com. That's exoskullfmrl@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
You always see the answers clearly. You see me when I've lost my way, when I'm blinded by the sun.